Do you want to know what you get when you take the Steam Deck, the Switch, and then strip them down of features so much that they become nothing more than useless paperweights? Well, you get Logitech's failed handheld. Now, what do you get when you strip down Logitech's already useless cloud gaming focused handheld? You get the new PlayStation handheld, a device so pointless it's practically a straight up scam. If for some reason you thought that no company would be brave or stupid enough to straight up clone the fucking Wii U, oh boy were you wrong, because that's pretty much exactly what Sony did here. The only difference here is that they're selling it separately, and according to leaks, it'll be between $200 to $400 extra on top of your PS5. Now, I understand many of you may be skeptical as to how this is a scam, and so I will let Jim Ryan explain it to you.
Later this year, we will launch a dedicated device that enables you to stream any game from your PS5 console using remote play over Wi-Fi.
For those of you who were not paying attention or simply do not know what remote play is, it is a free app for your mobile phone. Sony is straight up attempting to sell a handheld device that quite literally is nothing more than a horrendously pointless and far more expensive version of a mobile phone app. There is no reason for this to exist, and I am praying that this dishonest attempt to sell a handheld is not accepted by the general consumer base. Remote Play is an app that's free for anyone on iOS and Android that allows you to stream games to your phone, tablet and PC so long as you are on the same network as your PS5, whilst it's turned on. It's a feature that, while sounds dumb, is most certainly useful for parents who want to game whenever their kids are watching TV, so long as you meet the recommended 15 megabits per second internet speed requirement. However, what Jim Ryan failed to clarify completely in the advert for this device is that remote play has a pretty short range. Using it outside of the house is really not an option because the input latency is insane if you're anywhere that isn't nearby. After all, you're not connecting to a data center like you are with xCloud or GeForce Now. You're connecting to your PS5 and just streaming a video, meaning it outright requires your PS5 to be on at all times. So to make this clearer, no matter how good the battery life on this device is, it has no purpose, as you will be stuck at home with it and you may as well use your phone and or tablet, of which you already own, rather than scamming yourself out of presumably hundreds of dollars for a paperweight. To further put into perspective of just how bad this device actually is, even compared to Logitech's failed cloud gaming focused handheld, this has less use case scenarios. Logitech's already terrible and failed handheld allowed you to at least run Android in order to play mobile games natively on it. Did it have a purpose either? Absolutely not. However, it still had more reasons to exist. With this ugly ass PlayStation handheld, you can only stream games to it via remote play, nothing else. And God forbid you want a decent battery life, as it's reportedly only going to last between 2 to 4 hours.
Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power.
A pathetic achievement considering the fundamental basic facts about this device when it comes to how it doesn't run anything natively and cannot even use cloud gaming services. Although in fairness, the reportedly abysmal battery life is almost positively due to the poor DualSense controller that they cut in half and tortured in the interest of ham-fisting an 8-inch screen down the middle.
Make it stop!
This handheld is unequivocally a targeted scam towards the general consumer base. It's abundantly clear an average consumer is not going to know any better, and they are going to fall for this. So I am pleading for anyone watching this video to make sure that no one they know falls for it, as I can guarantee you that it won't be cheaper than buying a PlayStation backbone for the phone you already own, nor cheaper than merely buying the already expensive DualSense controller to be used via Bluetooth. Frankly, this despicable excuse of a handheld should not exist. I have positively no fucking idea how this even got passed through Sony. Whatever dim-witted degenerate came up with this should have been left out of the room and instantly fired. Moreover, whatever drugs PlayStation's higher-ups were smoking when coming up with this degradation in technology, I want those drugs, because they must have been wonderful to come up with this horseshit. You've got to know there's a serious problem with the piece of hardware you're attempting to fool people into buying, when the only defense PlayStation fanboys are able to come up with on the cesspool known as Twitter is that they're too brain dead to turn on the do not disturb mode that has existed existed on everyone's phone forever. I understand the PlayStation Q more after running some remote play via the PlayStation app on my iPhone. Notifications kill it for me because I ain't toggling them shits on and off each use. Performance via the app was stellar though. Still ain't my bag, but I get what they're doing.
I've been a PlayStation dick sucker since the PlayStation 1 day.
I am, however, glad to be able to say that both the official YouTube video from PlayStation promoting this garbage has more dislikes than likes, and the IGN re-upload has 12,000 more dislikes than likes. That's what I'm talking about! I guess at the very least there is some hope left after all. I still cannot comprehend how Sony thought this device had a single minuscule reason to exist in the first place, and I'm seemingly not the only one. I truly cannot see any use case scenario for this device for anyone. Battery life is made irrelevant since you're stuck at home with it and will need to charge it like your phone anyway. Plus the screen is just fine at 1080p, and let's not forget Sony's streaming technology is far behind everyone else in the market.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
And how on earth they decided copy and pasting the Wii U in an even worse way was smart will forever be beyond me. Not to mention their website promoting remote play seems wildly misleading, and on purpose of course. You'll have messages about how you can stay in the game away from home that are, whilst technically true, are wildly misleading, as you still need to lump your PS5 around everywhere in order to use the feature. Sony is putting this image in people's heads of just playing the games in the park on Project Q, and yet that's entirely unrealistic given the limitations of their software, unless you're sat there with your PS5 right next to you. In all honesty though, that would be a hilarious sight.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big baby!
This is all round a truly baffling piece of outright useless hardware that should have never have come to fruition. How we went from the Steam Deck and the Switch to this trash is bewildering, especially if we look at how Sony's first-party handhelds have been consistently going downhill after the original PSP, with the Vita getting killed by PlayStation's lack of support for it, and now this unfathomably useless Project Q releasing.
It was perfect. But no, you just had to blow it up. You and your pride and your ego.
The Wii U failed for a reason, and this will hopefully fail as well. It does piss me off quite a bit how over time Sony's handhelds have just gotten worse and worse and worse. Meanwhile, everyone else in the market is improving their technology consistently and almost exponentially. Well, outside of Nintendo. I'm still waiting for the Switch Pro. They had a real opportunity here to come back into the market as it's growing and absolutely dominate, because frankly, if they made a competing handheld to the Switch that could actually run games above 22 FPS, they'd have a moneymaker right there in the West, and even more so in Japan where mobile gaming is becoming more and more popular. But for some reason they decided to make this instead. All things considered, when it comes to Project Q, the Ouya had more fucking use cases than this. And so with my ramblings out of the way, we have finally come to the end of my plead for people to not fall for this clearly misleading project intended to gouge the pockets of morons who merely read Sony's quite misleading taglines on their website regarding remote play. Don't forget to save yourself the misery of owning one of these, and to instead download the app on whatever device you want, like a smart individual would do. Also, please don't forget to do all the typical annoying things YouTubers love to beg you to do, aka check out the Discord server, the Twitter, as well as like, comment, and subscribe. So I will see you all in the next video.